Now remember this piece that we set aside? If you look at this, your string comes in contact with that part right there as well. Okay, but this face, this camera's not showing this very well. This face right here, that face, comes in contact with your string as well. And it's got to cut fairly, squared edges. They're not sharp enough to cut you, but they will wear on your spring. So you want to take just a little bit off, just enough to round that. You don't want to go too bad because this is part of your anti-dry fire system. You just want to bevel that edge just a little bit. Just a little. Again with the sandpaper, make sure it's nice and smooth. There. Nice. Okay. Not quite. Alright, once you're done filing and polishing your parts, you're going to want to make sure they're clean. You don't want any metal shavings or paint scrapings left on there to get all up in your trigger assembly. So what I use is I just got a spray bottle here with isopropyl alcohol in it. Spray it real good, and I'm just using a lens cloth here. Just get in there and dry the alcohol off and clean off any debris, any metal shavings, any dust, anything that can cause a problem later. Nice and clean. Yeah, I don't know how well the camera shows it, but there's a lot of dark spots on here from where we've, like that one, picked up dirt and metal. Let's clean both pieces really good. All right. So now we're ready for reassembly. All right, remember our spindle, our spring, and our claw. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to start out putting the spindle in the claw. Then put the claw in the housing. Now you see that little hole right there? That's where the spindle goes. It fits in just like that. Now, I'm going to pull this out again because you can't really see it in the assembly what I'm going to tell you about right now. the top of the claw, see that recess right there, that round hole? That's where that spring goes. So we're going to put this in here again. And now your spring, to get you a better view, you're going to start by getting one end of it into that recess. Okay, just like so. I'm going to use, I use my thumb to hold it in place. When we go back to this tool, like I said, you can just use a knife. Put it into the close of the spring, right near the end. Compress the spring with it. To get it down into there, just like that. The next piece to go in is part of our anti-dry fire system. Again, you have a little spindle. Spindle goes into this piece. See that little hole right there? See this depression? Okay. The spindle goes into the hole, and that little nub right there, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. There's a little nub right there, right there. That little nub goes in a depression. So there you go, just like that. See, it's in there nice. Once that's in there, our spring just gets wedged right in, just like that. Next, this piece goes in. The way this is positioned, okay, oops, see, we knocked our dry fire lever out. This is why we just take it out before, because it pops out really, really easily. Get that back in there. Spring back in there. There we go. Now this piece here, this is actually, it doesn't look like much, but it's a very important piece of the trigger assembly, because this is what activates the safety when you cock the crossbow, and it's also what controls what works for the anti-dry fire. All right. So what happens is it sits in there just like that. Okay. You're going to want your trigger switch behind this little riser part of it, and you want that little lip right where your anti-dry fire lever is. Because what happens is, when you cock the crossbow, the string comes in and it pushes this piece back and actually activates the safety. And that's where your auto safety comes in.